guys, I'm Jona Gamboa with Keller Williams, and as you know, I'm also an investor. And today, what we want to talk about is the in and outs of title, and that's why we invited Joe Cespedes. He is an escrow officer from one of the local title companies here in Utah. We cannot say the name for legalities, but I invited him so we can talk about what is the importance of having title. So thank you for being here, Joe.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Perfect, Jona.
Okay, so one of the things that I want to share with people is a lot of people, they are buying a house here, and sometimes they have moved from out of the state, they have come from California, and they say, well, you have title and escrow, it's different, but the most important question right now that I want to ask you is, what's important about having title? Or what is your role, and why is it important to have title and escrow in the process of buying a house?
Yeah, we do a lot of different things to protect our clients is the main thing. But with title, the difference between title and escrow, title, we have searchers, they're going to search the property, see what kind of liens or judgments are on the property to make sure we issue free and clear title to the homeowner. And then with escrow, that's where we prepare the documents and we explain everything. Sometimes there's funds that need to be held in our account, that's the escrow account. So a lot of different stuff going on with title and escrow.
So basically, an escrow is basically you guys follow the contract, you collect all the money, and do you disburse the money?
Absolutely, yeah. We're the neutral third party, so we follow all the instructions to a T how we're supposed to, and then we disperse the funds accordingly. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, and you're the third party, which means that you are not working for the buyer or the seller. You are neutral, and you just follow whatever is on the contract, in the purchase contract.
Yes.
Now, in the part of title, that's really important. I mean, title basically, it can make a huge difference, and sometimes people do not realize that. But tell me a little bit more about title. You were talking about searching the title. What do you guys do? What is the process, and how can this prevent people having a nightmare later on or down the road?
That's a good question. We run into a lot of different situations. So say for example, if someone's getting divorced and they're selling the property, we would look at the divorce decree and have to follow that exactly to see how the equity needs to be split up on the property, who keeps the house, who's coming off title, that sort of thing.
So basically you want to make sure that when somebody buys a property, there are no encumbrances or any kind of liens that is going to affect the new owner or the property. Is that correct?
Yeah, that way there's no surprises. You know exactly what you're getting with the property. There's no other owners. There's nobody else that has access to your property. It's called an easement. It's usually for a gas company or a power company. They can go through your backyard and run power lines or whatever they need to.
Okay, so I come from Mexico, and a lot of times when you come from other places, you're like scared that you want to buy a property and the seller actually is not the owner of the property.
Sure.
So, but that is something that you don't need to be worried here in the United States when you get title insurance, because basically you guys are ensuring that the title is going to be clear and free. Is that right?
Yeah, that's one of the main things that we do. As a matter of fact, we have a document called the warranty deed, so we would make sure that the title is transferred when you sell a property from the seller to the buyer, and that there's no surprises. That's the main thing that we do. It's just ease of mind, no surprises. We issue free and clear title of the property.
And now, thank you so much. So let's say that there is an issue. Let's say that because there are human mistakes or somebody making a mistake. So I buy a property and later on I find out that the property had a lien that it was not paid at closing. So if I was insured, I'm the buyer, and the previous seller has something and you guys didn't find it. I mean, I'm saying you or the title company. So what would happen at that time? Would that title insurance protect me, or what would happen usually?
It absolutely would protect you. Depending on what the situation is, we typically would see who made the mistake, where it was missed. So if there's for example, a judgment on the property or a tax lien that was not paid, it typically would attach to the property, meaning that the buyer would have to pay for it. So in that case, if there is a mistake, we would contact the seller's title company, because there's two types of policies.
Okay.
And the seller's title company, they're going to issue the owner's policy, and that's what protects the buyer. Okay. And then the buyer pays for something called the lender's policy that strictly protects the lender.
Okay.
But on the owner's policy, they would need to file a claim with that title company that issued it, so they could solve the issue. Sometimes I've heard of title companies writing a big check to pay off someone's house if needed, if they make a mistake.
Good thing you haven't been you guys, right?
Definitely not.
Okay, so the other question that I have for you, Joe, is what kind of advice would you give to the people that they're like the first time home buyers, or or they're just buying a residence, what's important for them to know about title? What kind of advice would you give them?
Just to understand what you're signing. There's a lot of different contracts, just to make sure that you thoroughly understand. Ask the right questions to someone like myself when we're doing the closing, just to make sure you wrap your head around everything, because there could be some issues later on down the road that become issues. And
Okay.
you could have some problems down the road.
So basically, when they're at the closing table, well, from the beginning, they should be they should be asking questions to the lender, to the real estate agent, and everyone. But at closing, it's really important that they ask any questions that they may have to you as a neutral party, because you're just going to explain what is in the contract, right?
Yeah. I have their best interest in mind. Even though I'm the neutral third party, I still want to make sure that they thoroughly understand everything.
Okay.
So the main thing, that there's no surprises.
That's awesome. So, just to give an idea, I mean, you have escrow and title. We have them combined here in Utah.
Yeah.
What is an approximate cost for escrow here? Like, let's say that somebody's going to close on a house. Let's say it's a buyer. How much is usually the cost for escrow? Just an approximate number.
It really depends off the sales price and the loan amount, so
Okay.
they vary a little bit, but our fees are highly regulated, so all of our fees are very similar, so it really depends off the sales price, the loan amount.
So usually the escrow is a flat fee or something like that, right?
Yeah, our escrow.
So we're talking about $1,000, $2,000 on escrow.
No,
Yes.
a couple $100, I'd say between $200 to $500 on average.
So $200 to $500 is going to depend on the title company and some other things, and maybe some fees there, wire fees and some other things there. Now, title is the one that depends usually on the value of the house or the loan
Yes.
amount, right?
Yeah.
So the title insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's awesome. Now, for those people that are following us and they are investors, what kind of advice would you give them to those investors? What is important about title, or maybe what kind of advice would you give them?
For an investor, if they're going to be doing a lot of flipping, there's something called the reissue rate. So depending on how much time has passed between purchasing the home and selling it, we can give a major discount for a reissue rate for investors. That really makes them happy.
So let me talk a little bit about reissue date. So let's say that I'm an investor, which I am. I buy a property, I fix it up, and 3 months later or 4 months later, I'm selling the house. So at that point, if I close with a title company, well, there are some title companies that they want to give me a reissue date rate.
Yeah.
About what percentage have you seen that there is? What is the break or the discount that I could expect to get in something like that?
It could be up to 30%.
30%?
Yeah, it goes off a sliding scale. So year 1 is a percentage, year 2 is a certain percentage, year 3 is a smaller percentage. So if it's within the first few months, you get the highest percentage, which I want to say it's 30%.
So let's say if it is 30%, if I pay $1,500 for the title insurance, so pretty much I will be saving probably $500, which hey, $500 can buy me a ticket to go somewhere to Florida or to do some fun stuff, right?
If you do enough of them and you're flipping homes, it definitely adds up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And another thing is just looking at that title report and making sure that everything is in line. With a lot of investors, they want to see just all the details on the property, make sure there's no surprises, make sure there's just the one owner. If there's more than one lien, knowing exactly how much is owed on the property, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's great. So I was just thinking right now about a client. I'm not going to say his name, but sometimes people, they say like, you know what, I'm just going to sign a warranty deed. You give me $20,000 and I give you a warranty deed.
Well, yeah.
What do you think about that?
That could be messy. That could be really, really tricky. You know, you could have some problems. The main thing is you just want to be educated. You know, you want to do things right and make sure that you're clear with your intentions. If you're going to get added on someone's home, you know, if you're going to get added on the title of the property, because at that point you're part owner, and if you want to sell the house or refinance it, you could definitely do so with their permission.
So basically, if let's say I'm an investor and I want to be giving hard money loans to people, it's going to be really important to get title insurance and lender's title policy, because in that way I will be protected.
Yes.
Or if I want to buy a house from you, I need to make sure that you are actually the owner of the house and you have the rights to the property.
Yeah.
Before I do anything.
Before you write me a big check as an investor, you definitely want to make sure that I'm the right owner of the property and that there isn't other investors involved. That I own 100% of the property.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Joe, for being here. And next week, guys, we're going to be talking about how to invest in real estate. We're going to keep going, and If you have any questions about how to buy your first home or invest in real estate, we would love to help you. We are so passionate. For us, it's like game time. You know, it's just how it reminds me of the game Monopoly, you know, when you buy houses and then you trade the houses for a hotel. And we're so passionate about that, and we have been able to be successful and get a lot of properties, but we want to help you do the same thing and create wealth through real estate. So if you have any questions, call us, or you can send us a private message and we'll be in contact with you. Thanks so much, Joe, for being
Outstanding.
here.
Thank you, Jonah.
Okay,
I
awesome.
appreciate you guys.